busy week online, with South Africans sharing their thoughts on various issues. SABC digital news producer Wendy Mothata tells us more.
This week we feature a new online platform game called Disky Skills, a new augmented reality technology card game celebrating South African street football. But first, social media trends with Tonya Kuri.
Just when South Africa thought it would get a rest, Mother Nature caused havoc across this past week, both in KZN and the Eastern Cape, leaving the country devastated as the death toll continues to rise in the KZN floods. We also watched in horror as the Sri Lanka attacks unfolded, and the enormity of the attack and the subsequent move to black out social media in the country left social media and in South Africa shocked. The ANC brought out Thabo Mbeki, and social media lapped it up as he endorsed the party for the first time in years. Elections 2019 took a smaller seat as the country rallied to help victims of the floods. And then, of course, Brian Malefe's Pay Back the Money put Eskom back in the top 10. And just when we thought we were done with Mother Nature, she didn't leave us as the coastline of Africa braces itself for Cyclone Kenneth. And the SABC COO, Chris Maroleng, was axed this week, putting the broadcaster back in the spotlight. And the EFF blackout claims by Julius Malema creates the 10th largest story this week. In a special election report, the ANC this week comes in at 40% of our top 10, and the EFF with 22.3%, 12.3% to the DA, creating almost 75% of our coverage belonging to the big top three.
Let's have a look at your top stories on sabcnews.com as liked by users. Article on SA Weather Service warning of bad weather conditions across SA was popular on the site, as was the story on snow falling on the Maluti Mountains on the border of Lesotho and South Africa. Hundreds were evacuated in Port St. John's as heavy rains intensify. Special assignment investigates allegations about Chisanyama franchise. And finally, 4 people have died and 3 others injured in a head-on collision in the Eastern Cape. Let's look at your tech news for this week. The Goethe Institute Johannesburg, in cooperation with augmented reality specialist Something Else Design Agency, has created a brand new card game which does not only celebrate South African lifestyle football culture, but also brings it alive through the latest augmented reality technology.
With the game, you end up having all the different tricks of soccer that you might have interests on, and also you get the basic rules of soccer football, which we have managed to actually simplified into a card game. And this becomes an interesting game for people who are lovers of soccer, and also for those who are amateurs and upcoming players. They're just young and they would like to know how to actually play the game. So the game has its own rules, and within the rules of the games you've got attacking values, and then you've got swag, which is the actual skill that you make, and then you've got defense, which is just defending. And for you to actually play with someone else, which is it's a 2-player game, you need to actually attack and the other person has to defend, and swap roles. The other person has to attack and then you also have to defend. So now we decided to come up with a more interesting way of playing this game, which becomes a lot more educational and also a lot more entertaining, which is the biggest part of the game itself. Is you do have a technological component to it, which we use augmented reality. And augmented reality, it's mainly just augmenting a virtual world into a real environment. And what happens with augmented reality is that you can have the app. You download the app from Google Play Store. You download the app on your phone, and when you have it on your phone, you can actually scan these graphics, which you have of all different ones. You can scan the graphics, and when you scan the graphic, you can have a full tutorial on how you actually perform the specific skill. So this is how we connect what is printed to actually digital, and then how we can actually enhance through technology and give you content beyond what you actually have. So we're no longer at an age where everything that is static will forever be static. We managed to come up with ways of you pushing and then learning through play and enjoying what you're actually playing.
And that's a wrap for this week. For SABC Digital News, I'm Wendy Mothata.
Well, we go off to an ad break now. Your sports news coming up right after the short break. Do stay tuned. This is On Point.